Hello, my fair friends. I'm Ruby Ruse, and today I have with me, once again, Chris Allaun, author, teacher, and healer. We're very excited to have you back on Fairy Fortunes. If you missed our previous video where I interview Mr. Allaun about his wonderful work and what's coming up on the horizon for him, I will have it linked below in the description box, so be sure to check that video out. And then also I will have all of Chris Allaun's social media handles for you linked below so you can follow more of his work. But this is, of course, Fairy Fortunes, and if you are new to the channel, this is where there are fairies who tell fortunes. How about that? So today I am going to read your cards, your fairy fortune. Do you have a question that you would like to ask?
I don't, so maybe something very general about what's on the horizon, just what's on the path ahead?
What's on the path ahead? That's actually a really great question to ask. I'm going to have you shuffle those cards. All right. A Missio Alpha is wise, her beauty and voice mesmerize. Desire she gives, a true love that lives, you'll find yourself lost in her eyes. A show is acquisitio, a gluttonous aliquanto. The more she procures, the less she endures, the weight of her fate in escrow. The alicorn Albus observes, as witness she listens, she serves. Her reason and rhyme bring peace sublime, her duty is pure and preserves. The dragon now holds you in sight, you freeze in such fright at your plight. You've earned her respect, but quickly collect, her favor will wake appetite. So Chris, in a 4-card fairy fortune reading, the first card represents you and what you might be bringing to the table. So you are looking as to what's on the horizon in your future, and this is kind of represents your attitude about that. So here you have a Missio the Alpha, and as I'm sure you know from all of your research with your extensive work with the Underworld and of course the world with the Fae, you are probably very familiar that the Alfar originate from Scandinavia, and the word Alf is where we get the word elf that is now more commonly used in our modern day society. So the Alfar of Scandinavia were very associated with healing powers, so it's very interesting that this card comes forth in the position of your attitudes. This would suggest to me that your healing side is perhaps this new book that you're releasing is definitely going to be a very healing element for many of your readers. It's going to reach them and connect with them, and they're going to be able to find that missing piece that was in their lives. So that's what that suggests to me, is that you are really going to be that healer presence for a lot of young pagans and people that are out there searching for this gnosis that has not up until now been readily available. The second card in a 4-card fairy fortune reading represents any major events that are either happening right now or could be on the horizon for you. And your question was very much about the horizon, so that might have some correlation to that. And here you have Acquisitio the Alicanto. The Alicanto is a bird spirit from the forests of Chile. The story of these creatures is they are attracted to gold and silver ore. That is actually what they feast upon. So obviously, Acquisitio the Alicanto, it represents very much about wealth and abundance And actually, acquisitio in Latin actually means gain. So that suggests to me that on the horizon is it seems like your next book is probably going to be more explosive. It's often when we do a trilogy of books, it seems like when the trilogy is finally complete, is this going to be a trilogy, or do you think there will be another section of this?
Oh, there's going to be one more.
One more?
Section. So we have the two underworld, we have the upper world, and then the final is going to be about the land magic of the middle world. So fairies, elves.
Excellent.
Dragon things like that.
Wonderful. Well, it seems to me that especially with this third book that's coming out, because you now have 3 books, is that people are going to want to buy all of them in a package. And so just be prepared, because that might actually, the problem with Acquisitio de Alicanto is it is this abundance and it is this gain, and that is a very positive influence. But it can sometimes be overwhelming. The problem with the Alicantos is when they find that tasty vein of gold and silver, is the one thing that they can do is they tend to overeat. And then they render themselves so gluttonous that they render themselves unable to fly. So just be prepared that people are going to want to buy all 3 books together, and they're going to want to have that some kind of package, so it's going to be this big abundance for you. But you're just going to need to be prepared to meet that need. And if you can't, like if you sell out, if it goes into where you need to do a second printing, you're just going to have to relay that information to your fans and just kind of work with that ebb and flow of what abundance can do.
Okay.
So the third card in a 4-card fairy fortune reading represents your environment.
Okay.
So here you have Albus the Alicorn. And alicorn is actually a British word for unicorn. And unicorns, as I'm sure you're familiar, are one of those fairy creatures that actually traverse between both Western and Eastern folklore and mythology. So they are a very universal, very applicable to many different kinds of people and places, and they are found in all kinds of terrains. So with your work, that suggests to me that you're going to find yourself being probably invited to places that you have never been before. Definitely there's going to be probably other countries that might be interested in your work. So your environment, it seems like, is going to expand. And a lot of people are going to find that you fit in with their thoughts, that what you're speaking about, what you're teaching and you're healing, like that is actually going to be beneficial to a lot of different groups. So if you are planning on targeting a specific audience, you might want to think of some sub-audiences that would find your work beneficial, because there are a lot of people outside of what you've targeted that will find your work very, very helpful and meaningful. And finally, the last card in a 4-card fairy fortune reading represents any people. And here you have the head of the dragon. Usually when the head of the dragon makes an appearance, what that means is opportunity is definitely knocking.
Wow.
Since this is in your position of people, if you do not have an agent, it may actually be time to consider getting one.
Okay.
Because an agent, as I was saying, that we were talking about about abundance and how there's going to be, that you might find times when you're a little overwhelmed. An agent actually could help you with that overwhelm, the overflow.
Wow. Okay.
So it actually may be time to start employing a team of people that can help you. And definitely it seems like there's already people that are interested in you. You just have to put the feelers out and connect with those people.
Okay.
And that is your fortune.
I love it. Thank you. That's really
Well,
cool.
and thank you so much for coming on the show today. We're so glad that I was able to have you on the show. So thank you so much for joining us. If you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up, and please hit that subscribe button and notification bells for future fairy fortune videos. And as always, have a fairyful day.